Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins are making waves in the NFL rumor mill once again, and this time it's all about shoring up their secondary. After a quiet 2025 NFL draft in terms of cornerback reinforcements, fans and analysts alike begin to raise eyebrows. Why didn't the Dolphins draft a young CB to bolster their defense? Well, it looks like the front office might have a different plan in mind. According to Barry Jackson from the Miami Herald, the Dolphins have officially reached out to free agent cornerback Asante Samuel Jr., a name that should ring familiar to any football fan. Now, 25 years old, Samuel is coming off a neck surgery he had back in April. And while he's not ready to sign anywhere just yet, there's real movement behind the scenes. The Dolphins haven't extended an offer or even brought him in for a visit, but the line of communication has been open. That, my friends, is where the story starts to get interesting. Asante Samuel Jr. isn't just any free agent. This is a guy who came into the league with high expectations, a second-round pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, and he quickly made his mark with the Los Angeles Chargers. Over the span of 3 active seasons, he started 7 games and consistently contributed in a meaningful way. He racked up 2 interceptions in each of those years, from 2021 through 2023, and displayed an eye for the ball that reminded many of his Pro Bowl father. Then came 2024, a brutal setback. A neck injury in the preseason sidelined Samuel for the entire year. It's the kind of injury that makes teams pause, especially when it involves a position as physically demanding as cornerback. But even so, there's clear interest bubbling to the surface now that Samuel is working his way back. And let's be real, this move would make a ton of sense for the Dolphins. With veteran star Jalen Ramsey potentially on his way out, Miami needs to find stability and upside in their cornerback room. They have some pieces, sure, but if they want to compete deep into the playoffs, they need depth and playmaking ability in the secondary. Samuel, when healthy, checks those boxes. He's not just fast and agile, he's smart, instinctive, and brings a level of swagger to the position that Miami fans would love. In his first 3 seasons, he defended at least 11 passes every year. That consistency speaks volumes. He doesn't just cover, he competes, and he brings energy to every snap. The Dolphins know that, which is probably why they're trying to get in ahead of the crowd before Samuel meets with other teams in July. But of course, it's not all sunshine and touchdowns. The neck injury is a big deal. This isn't a sprained ankle or a hamstring tweak. We're talking about a part of the body that's critical to every movement on the field, every cut, every tackle, every leap for an interception. Teams are going to want to see how Samuel moves, how he reacts, and how he absorbs contact before they open the checkbook. That's why there's no visit or offer yet from Miami. They're playing it smart, keeping the dialogue open while waiting to see how he looks in a couple months. Still, the fact that they're ahead of the curve, reaching out before most teams even get a meeting lined up, that says a lot about their level of interest. And let's talk timing. The NFL offseason has entered that quiet phase where big names start looking for second chances and teams go hunting for hidden gems. It's the perfect window for a low-risk, high-reward move. Samuel could be exactly that for the Dolphins. He's young, experienced, and motivated to prove he's still got it after missing a year. And if you're Miami, what do you really have to lose? You're not committing long-term. You're bringing in a guy with upside who could start, contribute, or at the very least push the rest of the room to be better. That kind of addition could be a difference maker once the regular season hits. Now, imagine a scenario where Samuel comes in healthy and ready to compete. Pair him up with Xavier Howard or whoever else ends up leading that secondary, and you've suddenly got a revamped unit with youth, depth, and flexibility. Defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver could get creative with coverages, knowing he's got corners who can play man zone and everything in between. And let's not overlook the leadership aspect. Even though Samuel is only entering his 5th year, he's been through the battles. He knows what it takes to prepare, to recover, and to perform under pressure. That experience is invaluable, especially for younger players in the room. From a fan perspective, this is the kind of potential signing that gets people talking. Samuel is a name with pedigree, production, and personality. He plays with fire, and his ball hawking style is something that fits perfectly with Miami's defensive identity. Dolphins fans have seen what happens when a secondary can't hold its own. Big plays, blown coverages, and fourth quarter heartbreaks. Signing a player like Samuel, if he's healthy, helps guard against that. It sends a message. We're not just trying to compete, we're trying to win now. It tells the locker room that the front office is locked in and aggressive. And think about a narrative. Samuel going from Los Angeles to Miami, from the Chargers to the Dolphins. It's a fresh start on a team that's hungry for postseason. Glory. It's a storyline tailor-made for redemption. Young corner returns from injury, joins a contending team, and makes a playoff-clinching interception in Week 17. Sounds dramatic? Sure, but that's the beauty of the NFL. One smart move in the offseason can flip the script entirely. The Dolphins have a chance here to bet on talent and resilience, and in Samuel, they might just hit the jackpot. So while nothing's official yet, no visit, no contract, just a phone call, it's the kind of move that could quietly shape the trajectory of the Dolphins season. As July approaches and Samuel begins meeting with teams, don't be surprised if Miami ends up at the top of that list. They've shown early interest, and in the NFL, timing can be everything. If the medicals check out, and if Samuel shows flashes of his old self, we could be talking about one of the sneakiest, smartest signings of the entire offseason. And if that happens, you heard it here first. Miami might have just found their next great cornerback. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? It's the kind of story that sets NFL Twitter on fire. A heated practice, superstar players, and now a growing silence between two of the Miami Dolphins' brightest stars. According to multiple sources close to the team, Tua Tagovailoa and newly acquired wide receiver Ja'Marr Chase have reportedly stopped speaking to each other following what insiders are calling a tense and confrontational practice session earlier this week. While nothing is officially confirmed by the team, whispers out of Miami suggest the situation might be more serious than just a moment of competitive fire. The Dolphins had just wrapped a full-speed red zone drill when things seemed to escalate, and not in the way coaches typically like to see. For a team expected to contend in the AFC this year, this kind of internal drama is not the headline fans want to see. But let's rewind a bit. Ja'Marr Chase, one of the most electric wideouts in the league, joined the Dolphins this offseason in a blockbuster trade that turned heads across the league. Everyone thought pairing him with Tua would be instant magic. Deep balls, explosive plays, and highlight reels every Sunday. But chemistry, as we know in football, is more than talent. It's trust, it's rhythm. And according to those close to the situation, that rhythm is way off. Sources say that Tua and Chase had already been butting heads during OTAs, but it was during this particular practice that things hit a boiling point. Witnesses say the argument started over a miscommunication on a route. Tua expected Chase to break inside on a slant, a bread and butter play in this offense, but Chase broke it outside. The ball landed in the dirt and the two exchanged words. At first, it looked like your average, intense back and forth between competitors, but then the body language changed. Helmets came off. Tua walked away visibly frustrated, and Chase reportedly refused to run with the first team for the rest of practice. Coaches tried to mediate, but the tension was already written across the field. Teammates described the atmosphere as awkward and dead silent once the dust settled. Now, here's where things get really interesting. After that practice, both Tua and Chase left the facility separately and didn't speak to each other the next day. Normally, quarterbacks and receivers are constantly communicating, breaking down film together, and texting late into the night about timing, coverage reads, and play tweaks. But from what I've been told, it's been radio silence. One source inside the Dolphins locker room even said, "It's like they're complete strangers now." That's not something you want to hear about two players expected to form the core of your offense. And if you think this is just a one-off disagreement, think again. People around the league have raised questions about Tua's leadership style in the past. Quiet, reserved, not the vocal commander type. Chase, on the other hand, is fiery, emotional, and not afraid to speak his mind. That's not necessarily a bad mix, but only if there's mutual respect and communication. Right now, it feels like those pillars have crumbled. When stars go silent like this, it's often a sign that something deeper is broken. Not just a play, but the connection. This situation couldn't come at a worse time for Miami. Expectations are sky high. The addition of Chase was supposed to be the final piece in Mike McDaniel's offensive puzzle, and with Tyreek Hill still on the roster, defenses were supposed to have nightmares. But what happens when your QB1 and WR1 aren't even on speaking terms? You can draw up the best plays in the world, but if the guys executing them aren't in sync, it's just ink on a whiteboard. Dolphins fans are already voicing concerns on social media, calling for leadership from within the locker room to step up. So far, the Dolphins have remained tight-lipped. No official comments from McDaniel, no locker room access to either Tua or Chase this week. A media availability has been canceled for the next practice. That only fuels speculation. Some say it's being handled internally. Others believe the front office is trying to do damage control before the story gets bigger. But in the age of social media and 24/7 NFL coverage, stories like this don't stay buried. The longer the silence continues, the louder the rumors will grow. And right now, the Dolphins are in the eye of that storm. It's worth remembering. That great QBWR duos, Brady and Edelman, Mahomes and Kelsey, Burrow and Chase, don't just click because of talent. They thrive because of communication, accountability, and a shared mindset. If Tua and Chase can't get back on the same page soon, the Dolphins might find themselves with two all-pro talents that can't produce all-pro results. And that's a disaster waiting to happen in a loaded AFC where every win counts. Fans came into the season dreaming of Super Bowls. They didn't expect soap operas at practice. For now, all eyes are on the Dolphins' next move. Will a veteran like Tyreek Hill step in as a peacemaker? Will McDaniel take the reins and force a resolution behind closed doors? Or will this silence stretch into preseason and beyond, threatening to derail what was supposed to be Miami's breakout year? No one knows for sure. But one thing is certain, the Dolphins can't afford for their stars to stay quiet for long. The season waits for no one. And if they don't fix this soon, it won't be just practice turning tense. It'll be Sundays too. And that's where we'll leave it. For now, these are just rumors, but they're growing louder by the hour. If Tua Tagovailoa and Jamar Chase really have stopped talking, then Dolphins fans should be seriously concerned. We'll be watching every practice report, every sideline interaction, and every cryptic Instagram story. Because in today's NFL, drama off the field can be just as impactful as anything between the lines. And right now, this Miami mystery is turning into one of the biggest storylines of the offseason. Stay tuned. It's only just getting started. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.